Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you might guess from the title, this is going to be a little bit of a wedding planning update. This is actually my first wedding planning video. I've been getting a lot of questions recently about how it's all going and how far along in the process we are and stuff. And so I thought I'd just film a little video and update you guys. So as you probably know, we got engaged in June of this year. And it was beautiful, and Matt just planned it all amazingly, and I just can't believe it's been 3 months already. It's gone so quickly. I will pop a link in the description box to the engagement vlog if you want to go and watch that. But yeah, we got engaged a few months ago, and we kind of just took a bit of time after we got engaged to just enjoy, you know, the initial kind of engagement bliss period, and we just enjoyed summer and had a few trips and had family come to visit. And I'm actually really glad we did that, because honestly, after we got engaged, obviously I was so happy and so over the moon, but I was also just really overwhelmed, and I was kind of just like, oh my god, how am I going to plan a wedding? Like, where do I even start with it? Because obviously I was so surprised, and I didn't expect Matt to propose when he did, and so it honestly just took me a bit of time just to kind of wrap my head around the idea that we were going to be getting married and we were going to be planning a wedding. I know that might sound a little bit weird, but yeah, it took me a bit just to kind of feel like a bit more of an adult, I guess. Like, this is a really big adult thing to do, and I just didn't feel adult enough to plan a wedding. But yeah, it was nice having a bit of time just to kind of take it easy. And then we kind of set ourselves a target. We said in September, that's when we'll start getting down to planning and getting our head down. A couple of weeks ago, when we were on our way back from Banff, we had like 8 hours to kill in the car, so we were like, why don't we just start making like some high-level decisions and just start off the planning process. And I'm glad we did that, actually, because there is just so much choice and so many decisions to be made, but there's literally like 500 million ways that you can do it, and it's just a lot. And I was researching a lot, and I was looking up things online, and I was just finding it all very overwhelming. And so I think having that conversation and just making sort of like those high-level decisions really helped me to just kind of give me a bit of direction. And then I kind of knew where to look, I kind of knew what country we might want it in, and just kind of, it gave some direction, so it was really good. I didn't want to share too much because, you know, that's probably going to change anyway, but I know that what we do want is we want to have a weekend celebration, and that's something that's really important to us, because I just want all our people in one place for the whole weekend, and we can celebrate. Because we don't live in England, it would just be really nice to spend that quality time with all our people. And I know that a lot of people do, you know, one-day ceremonies, and that's absolutely fine, but I just want a little bit more time. We do actually want it to be quite casual, I think formal, but also quite casual, because that just kind of suits us and our style, and I want it to be a nice kind of fluid weekend. We have started looking at wedding venues, so we are kind of veering towards having it in, you know, England or Europe, and that's given us some direction. We kind of know now what type of venue we want. We have a better idea of numbers, so we did like a provisional guest list, and now we're able to try and find what we want. And to be honest, it's really hard, and even though there are so many websites out there, what I'm finding is that all the websites are basically the same, and they're all listing the same type of properties. And even though you think there are so many venues out there, there's actually not that many. Well, there is, but then there isn't that many. And I just find myself coming across the same ones over and over again, and it has been a little bit frustrating. And I'm not going to say it's stressful, because it's not stressful. It's just sometimes a bit frustrating. I think especially when you have a very clear vision of what you want, it's sometimes hard to find that. And so what I've been finding is that we've been looking, and we'll allocate an evening, and we'll look, and I'll kind of go down this rabbit hole, and then I'm just like, I just can't find what we want, and this is really hard. And then Matt just kind of has to like reel me out, and I give it a day and sit on it, and then I go back into it again, because I am finding it quite frustrating. And I know that we are going to find something that is perfect for us and that suits us. It's just a matter of patience and looking. And I have a friend, and she messaged me, and she said they looked for something like, I don't know, 35 hours. They spent 35 hours looking for venues, and then they found the perfect one. So I was like, okay, that kind of gives me a little bit of hope, and I know that one will come up. But it is just quite frustrating, because you end up finding one that's perfect, and then it's like, oh, it doesn't allow this many guests, or, you know, the grounds aren't how you want them to be, or the location's not right, or they don't allow weddings. So there's just all of these things. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. We're looking at venues right now, and then hopefully the next time we go back, maybe at Christmas, we'll look at some venues and try and get a date locked in. So dates wise, we're thinking about 2 years time. So it gives us a bit of time to plan, and I did think about maybe doing it next year, but to be honest, I personally felt that was just not a lot of time, and I just wanted a bit more time. So yeah, we're gonna do it in 2 years. And now I've started to think about dresses. I'm not actually gonna try any dresses on until Christmas, or the next time I go back, because I want for the first time to be with like my girls and try it on together, and then after that I can look at places here in Vancouver and I can kind of, you know, continue the search. But I have got an idea of the type of dress that I want. Everybody says that they have a clear idea of what they want, and then when it actually comes to finding the dress for the day, they end up going with something completely different. So I'm trying to keep an open mind, but at the same time I do kind of find myself gravitating towards the same style of dresses. So I'm really excited for that. And what else? Yeah, there's obviously like things like catering, but that we can't decide on until we find a venue. I think we are going to go for more of like a casual style of dining. But one thing that we've just really been trying to keep in mind throughout this whole thing so far is that it is our wedding day, and we can do it however we want to do it. And that's kind of my best piece of advice. If you're watching this and if you are newly engaged and you're planning a wedding, that is my best advice to give, is that it is your day and no one else's, because it is quite easy to kind of get swayed by people. I haven't actually experienced this. Everyone I speak to says that people are very, very opinionated when it comes to your wedding, and people are very vocal about their opinions. And I imagine when it's like that, it is quite hard to kind of focus on what you want, because, you know, you've got all of this noise and all of these opinions and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's your wedding day. You can literally do it however you want to do it. I think it's quite easy to get guided by, you know, just kind of the traditional format of weddings and how we've seen weddings in films and how our friends have got married, and you just have to do it however you want to do it. Things such as our wedding cake, we were talking about it and I was kind of like, I personally feel like it's crazy to spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds, or, you know, $1,000 on a cake, because I feel like, you know, you don't get around to it until the end of the day. You've most probably had quite a lot of bubbly by then. People probably just kind of forget about it. And, you know, for me, I just don't really value the cake that much. And so I think for the cake, we are going to just go for something quite simple. I'd love to have a chocolate cake, actually, because I love chocolate cake. So maybe we'll have a chocolate cake. But yeah, I don't think we're going to have anything super fancy or elaborate. I think it's kind of nice to keep in mind that you can literally do it however you want to do it. And there are lots of customs and traditions, but it doesn't mean you have to follow them, and you can do your wedding however you want to do it. And that's kind of the thing that I keep bearing in mind, especially when I find myself thinking, oh no, you can't do that because this is how it should go. I'm like, no, wait a sec, like, if you want to do it that way, you can, because it is your day. So I'm now starting to look at photographers, and I know that we will want a decent like photography and videography package. I value that really highly, and I obviously want, you know, beautiful photos, and I'd love to have a beautiful video from the day. And so yeah, I'm trying to find, just kind of make like a short list of people we like and the style that we like. You can kind of figure out prices and things like that. But yeah, it's very, very exciting. I'm kind of past the overwhelmed stage, I think. I kind of had that for a few months, and now I'm like, right, let's get down to business, and like, you know, let's get planning. And it is so exciting, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. I think once we get the venue sorted, and then we can do more fun stuff, like, you know, thinking about dresses and like makeup and decor and that kind of thing. But I want to get the venue sorted first, and then we can think about all that other stuff. But yeah, I have found that Instagram is great in terms of dresses. And a friend of mine actually gave me that tip, and she was like, rather than looking on Pinterest, look on Instagram for wedding dresses. And I found that to be great, because on Pinterest, even though there's a lot of great stuff, I find that the same images keep coming over and over again. Whereas on Instagram, I follow quite a few different dress designers. I follow quite a few like bridal accounts and magazines. And you do find a lot of like cool styles and designers, and they often tell you what style it is, and sometimes even the price as well. So that's quite a good way of looking at different styles and just figuring out what kind of designers that you like. And I just have like a little save tab on my Instagram where I've saved all, you know, wedding-y kind of stuff. And same applies to vendors and venues. It's good just looking on Instagram, and that can kind of give you an idea of you know, what it looks like when it's in action. And then for dresses, there are things like trunk shows. A lot of designers will have yearly sales. A lot of like bridal stores will have sales or closing down sales. Honestly, I really just did not expect to be planning a wedding right now. Like 6 months ago, if you told me that I'd be planning a wedding right now, I would not have believed you. But no, I'm super excited, really excited about it. And yeah, it's just really cool, and I feel like a bit more of an adult now. But yeah, I'll keep you posted on how we're getting along, and I am doing like a little wedding series on my blog, and I'll be chatting about how things are going and giving kind of useful tips and just sharing, you know, useful stuff that I'm finding out. So keep an eye on my blog if you want to go and read any of that kind of content. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit subscribe if you want to see any more of my videos, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!